the confidence cure, and how you can start feeling more like yourself again. Welcome back to the Queen Rising podcast. And today, if you're new here, my name is Misty, and I have been health and life coach for women since 2015. And today, I want to talk about confidence and how if you have feeling low confidence and not really feeling like yourself, let's talk about how we can change that. Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like just not quite like yourself? This is actually where my story started. Before I was working with women on how to get their confidence back, I was a new mom. And I was married. I had a special needs child who was about 2 to 3 years old. And the thing is, I had gained all this weight when I was pregnant with him, not really lost anything. And I found myself pregnant with my second child. And I knew I had to get my confidence back. So at that time, I was in a pretty dark place, and I was looking at my life like, this isn't me. This isn't who I am. And I knew if I got my confidence back, it would just be like a domino effect in all the other areas of my life. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about why we lose our confidence. The real reason why we lose confidence in ourselves, and how to reignite our self-trust and step back into our power. So why do we lose confidence in the first place? Now, there are a number of factors, but you may be experiencing shifts in your career, motherhood, society, expectations. There's like this need and this external pressure to just do it all. But here's the thing, you can't do it all. If you are in a place where you are trying to do it all and then you fail, you're not able to manage that. There's, self-doubt and negative self-talk that creeps in. There can be a misalignment around your energy. And when you're trying to do it all, there will always be areas where you're slacking, you're not able to meet those needs and not able to meet those expectations. And that's an opportunity to come back into understanding what it is you truly desire and understanding where you're out of alignment with your time and your energy are you living the life you want to live? And a lot of times we ignore our own intuition and we're prioritizing what other people want and how other people want us to live, what other people want us to do. So the first thing I want you to understand is confidence is a mindset. And if you don't have confidence, this can derail you in so many areas of your life, from dating to relationships to jobs to making more money. So last year I went through a divorce, and when I first went to my ex-husband and told him how I was feeling and I didn't feel like we should be together anymore and we needed to separate, what he said to me told me everything I needed to know. He said, I need you for my confidence and motivation. No. And I was like, no, I'm not going to be a person's confidence, sole source of confidence. Like, you're not putting that on me, because confidence is an internal issue. And if you don't have confidence, that's not something that someone else can give you. That's something you have to cultivate on your own. And we're going to talk about how you could do that. So if you are always looking externally to other external sources for your confidence, whether that be a person, a relationship, a job, money, a certificate, like a promotion. If that is how you get confidence and that is your motivation, like you will always be searching, you'll always be seeking more and more and more. But when you can learn how to cultivate this confidence within, it doesn't matter what your external circumstances are, you can navigate it with confidence because you have that inside of you. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something we cultivate. So a couple years ago, I had this client, and it was a male client, and it was a past client. We were no longer working together, but we had worked together a couple years prior, and we stayed connected on social media, and we hadn't really worked together for a while. But he came to me, and he like sent me a message, and he basically said, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm wondering if you could work with my wife. I want my wife to have what you have. And so at the time, I was primarily working with people on weight loss and energy management. And I hadn't really fully stepped into helping women like own who they are and to find this inner confidence within themselves. But that is the sense of what he was asking. He really couldn't pinpoint what he was asking, but it was like this internal confidence that I had. And I never met his wife, so I can't say what she had or what she didn't have, but there was something in me that he saw that he was wishing that his wife had. And this particular client was much older than me. There was no like physical attraction there. He's probably 20 years older than me. And he was married, but he just came to me like, whatever you got going on, I want my wife to have that. And he was proposing the possibility of me coaching his wife. So when I say like this, having confidence, it can really be a deal maker when it comes to dating. It can, if you are dating, when you walk into a room, everyone knows that person when they walk into the room and everybody notices. That is confidence. Like they have a particular energy about them. And if you are in a relationship and you start to cultivate this confidence, I promise you, your partner will notice. And this plays out in like jobs, interviews. If you go into an interview, two different people can have the exact same resume. And if one person walks in there they have a good resume, but they're already feeling like not enough. They're doubting themselves. They're doubting their abilities. And then a different person with the exact same resume walks in with their head held high, their shoulders back, and they are feeling so confident in who they are. I guarantee you the confident person is going to get the job over the person who is doubting themselves. When you go and ask for a job promotion, if you are an entrepreneur and you're working with clients, like this shows up in so many areas of your life. So it is really important to be able to cultivate this level of confidence. And so we're going to talk about how you can do that. So I want you to connect back into you. I want you to connect in with your inner queen and just do a journal prompt and ask yourself, who were you before the world told you who you needed to be? When do you feel most like yourself? And so if you're not feeling like yourself, you can tap into an earlier part of you. So up until the age of 5, we are the most like ourselves. But after the age of 5, we start to recognize our surroundings and we start to take in other people's opinions. So if you are a parent, or if you can think about a child that's like learning how to walk, or 2-3 years old, they are so immersed in their own world. They have no idea what's going on outside of them. But then after the age of 5, we start to take in other people's opinions, other people's projections. This is the most when we take in, our subconscious mind starts to program how other people think about things. And so if you want to tap into your most inner self, you want to go back to that time of before the age of 5. And what did you do? What were you like? And you can even like ask people around you. Who were you and what were the things that you like to do? Another thing that you can do to cultivate this confidence, I want you to get out your piece of paper. And I want you to write down a minimum of 20 things. And these are things like your accomplishments, your skill sets, the obstacles you've overcome, compliments you get. I want you to list out all the things you are amazing at, brilliant at. What do people ask your advice on? What do people need your help with? And I want you to come up with a list. And, your accomplishments could be simple, like graduated high school, graduated college, got a degree, became a mother, become a father. Like, it can be so small. But what this is going to do is once you get through, you're going to be able to look back on everything you've accomplished. Like, you actually do have the tools that you need to be confident. So one of the things that you can do also is have a confidence bank or a compliment bank. So anytime you get tagged on social media or anytime someone leaves you a comment, they're complimenting you in some way, you can just screenshot it or, put it in a folder. So when you are feeling low, you're feeling self-doubtful, you can come back to this folder and remember all the brilliant and awesome things people have to say about you. This happened a couple months ago. I was on social media and I got tagged in a post. And this same client that, was asking me to coach his wife, that happened a couple years ago. But more recently, a couple months ago, I got tagged in a Facebook post, and it was a person that I never knew before. We were not connected at all, and this woman was asking for advice on her makeup. She wanted to know who can teach me how to do my makeup. And this particular client, he tagged me, and I was like, wow, okay, that was like a compliment. I'm not a makeup artist. I've never taken a single makeup class ever. I've just learned like what I like, and I've learned like what works for me. And so I didn't reach out to her. I do not feel equipped to teach anyone how to do their makeup. However, it was a nice just confidence booster for me. Like, okay, obviously he likes how I do my makeup, or he likes how I present myself on social media or in front of the camera or whatever. But it was just a nice little confidence booster. And I just, added that to my confidence bank of things, I'm good at, or how I can feel more confident in who I am. So you can do this too. I'm sure you're getting indirectly compliments all the time, and you may not even notice, you may not even pay attention to how people are complimenting you. And obviously him tagging me, that was so indirect. He wasn't specifically coming to me and telling me that he liked how I did my makeup, but him tagging me in her post was like, clearly he's seen something. So I just want you to pay attention to how other people are perceiving you, how people are giving you, showering you with compliments, and you may not even notice. Now, another thing you can do is shift your energy around your daily rituals. So let's talk about this. Did you know that the quality of your underwear drawer says so much about your self-worth? When was the last time you chose to wear the good panties and possibly even a matching bra for you and not for your partner, not even if no one else is going to see it? This has all the potential to shift your energy and how you're showing up for yourself. What I want you to do is tomorrow, when you get ready, I want you to get ready with intention of pouring into yourself as you would if you were going on a date night. Yeah, that means like, whatever that means, like taking the long shower, taking extra time in the morning to put lotion up your body, put body oil or body butter on, wearing the matching bra and panties, even if no one else is going to see it. Because let me tell you, when you start showing up like this, it is such an internal confidence booster. You just show up differently when you have matching bra and panties on than if you are wearing the panties that are in the back of the drawer that you wish no one would see. Am I right? Other things that I like to do in the mornings included in my daily rituals that can shift my energy and embody more confidence. One is moving my body and working out in the mornings. I recently, switching up my workout again, started working out again in the mornings because I just feel so much better when I do work out in the mornings. Having morning affirmations and doing mirror work. And this is like the things you say to yourself. Like, pay attention to the language and how you talk to yourself. And this is something I learned years ago, and most people cannot do this, is you will stand in front of a mirror and you will literally pour love into yourself. If you can look in a mirror and tell yourself how much you love yourself, that is powerful, and very, very few people can do that. Because we're so used to having this negative self-talk and this criticism. But what if you flipped the switch and you started pouring love into yourself? And start doing small things on a daily basis, like these micro habits of daily wins. Like, how can you just have a bunch of small wins to cultivate that self-trust within yourself again? So one of the things I like to do in my morning routine is like identify 2 or 3 like non-negotiable things that need to happen. And like everything else is like icing on the cake. But like, if I could just get this one thing done today, and then when you get it done, it builds your confidence back in yourself. You automatically get more energy and you have more motivation to get more things done. And that is how we cultivate this self-trust back into ourselves. Here's the thing. You don't need to become a new version of anyone. You just need to come back to the truest version of who you are. So, here's your takeaway. I want you to choose one thing that can help you feel more confident and feel more like yourself today, whether that be getting dressed up, doing your hair and makeup, or setting a boundary and just saying no to something you don't want to do. And when you think about the most confident version of who you are, how does he or she show up in your life? Like, what would she do differently than what you're doing? And if you love this, make sure you like the video, leave me a comment below, and make sure you're subscribed.